Good afternoon. Trader James here, going to do a quick review of my trading on June 28th, 2024. Today was a tilt day. There's some overtrading, revenge trading, and overall my performance was poor. I graded my day today as C. The only reason it wasn't an F was because of a good trade that I had right at the beginning of the day. It was just a really nice one, and I was really happy with that trade, how it turned out. Unfortunately, after that, the day just deteriorated. So, quick overview here. We've got 15 trades total, 2 wins. Both of them were 8-hour trades. One was a good one and one was a poor one. I'll go over both of those today just to keep the review a little bit quicker, and I'll skip all the other stupid losses for the most part. All my losses, 12 of them, I kept my risk the same at 1R. My win rate was 14.29%, very poor. Overtrading for sure, just getting chopped up. Every time the candle would turn a different direction, I'd go long, then I'd go short, then I'd go long, then I'd go short. I wasn't waiting for the proper entries. And I had one break-even trade, covered most of my fees for today, and then the R factor on the day, 3.5R after all of my fees. So on the left side here, we have the 15-minute chart, and on the right, we have the 5-minute chart. Let me zoom in to the beginning of the day, and we're going to go over my first trade, my good trade, my only good trade of the day. Even though I had 2 wins, I really only count this as a good trade. What I was looking for was the 4-hour higher low. So let me just zoom out here. Here we are. So we go into the open on this candle here. We're pulling back, and I'm looking for an area off the 12 EMA for a 4-hour higher low. Ended up getting it nicely. It was the 1-hour bounce right around here. And I zoomed in to the 15-minute and the 5-minute for my trade entries. We had the open here. Nice push down into 5-minute oversold, 15-minute oversold. We retraced nicely, and my first entry was breaking the open and the first 5-minute candle. The second one was entering, we kind of came back down, retested this area. I re-entered a little bit higher, then I re-entered after we broke this 5-minute high here. So we lost the 5-minute downtrend by breaking the high, added a third position. I scaled out one at 30 points, one at 30 points, and one at 20 points. So that ended up being an 8-hour trade. Each time I add to a position, I cut my loss in half. So my first position, I had a 10-point stop. I think it's actually added. It was a little bit lower because I almost got stopped out there, but thankfully I didn't. And then my next trade, my average was around here. My stop was about there, it was 5 points lower. Then I added another one there, and my average was about here. My stop was about 3.5 points below that. So each time that I add to my position, I decrease my stop to keep my risk the same. But that's how I can get these larger RR trades, just adding to my positions. I'm a strong believer in adding to positions, adding to winners specifically. I don't add to losers. If a trade is going to win, it's going to win big, and if it's going to lose, then I don't want to add to it. In hindsight, I definitely could have, had this monster move here, way up from 5-minute oversold to 5 and 15-minute oversold to 5 and 15-minute overbought, just straight up right off the lows. It was not the most likely scenario in my mind, and I'm happy with my exits. I wanted to exit as we bounced here at the 12-minute EMAs and at yesterday's high. I thought that those would be resistance areas and we would just get what I was looking for. Was we had this push up, we had this push down. I was looking for that. That is what my thought was, and I was going to take profit and then switch to looking for a short for the 15-minute continued downtrend, which ultimately didn't happen. I mean, later in the day, definitely we've got a 15-minute downtrend going on right now, last time I looked. But, an 8-hour trade, I'm happy with that. In hindsight, I could have left one and just moved my stop up. Like, if I had my last position here and I just moved my stop up with the 5-minute higher lows every single time, a candle closed, definitely could have got a heck of a lot more points on that trade. But I stuck to my plan. I stuck to what I thought the most likely scenario was, so I'm happy with that trade. Missing this move right here, I think, is one of the things that really triggered some tilt in me. It's a monster move, and I sat out for that whole time thinking, oh, you know what, there's gonna be an entry, it just kept going and going and going. So then when we hit up here, I thought either we're making another bull flag into higher highs or we're dumping back down, and I got really caught up in this area of all these inside bars, and I was not trading well. I had a ton of losers in here. Not happy with that, and I did not trade according to my trade plan. Looking back at the start of the day, I always rate how I am mentally, and I wrote down that I was a 6 out of 10. I only trade if I'm a 6 or greater, and I think I wrote a 6 because I wanted to trade, because I definitely wasn't a 6. Thinking back, I was definitely like a 4 or a 5. I didn't sleep well. I only got a couple hours of sleep last night. I was overtired, and I'm missing this monster move. About around here, I wrote down, I'm thinking maybe now I'm a 5 out of 10, and I didn't stop trading. And then later in the day, at the end of the day, when I eventually did stop trading, I wrote down that I was a 3 out of 10, and I was definitely probably a 2 or a 3. Shouldn't have been trading today. Should have stopped much earlier in the day. Should have stopped after a couple losses in here, but I think it was 11 losses in a row. I did not stick to my risk rules. One of the things that I do is I use like an intraday trailing stop. So as I make profits and pull back, each time I make a higher low with my profits, I say, all right, I'm not going to go below that level. And then it just locks in, like, you lock in a few hundred, a few thousand, whatever, throughout the day. And then if I do go back down to that level, I just stop trading. But today, this is kind of what it looked like. And then back at the end of the day, I had a big tilt win, which I'll go over next. I was looking for I thought most likely scenario was a 15-minute higher low. Kept trying to go long here, couldn't get it. But then I switched short. We had an inside bar here. I took a short, not a great entry. It was down here. If I trade the inside bars, I need to enter at the break, not a few points lower. It was a significant. It wasn't just a little bit of slippage. That was late entry to that trade. So I was already off by like almost 5 points on my entry there. My second entry, a little bit lower. This was supposed to be an entry in the break of this 5-minute low, but look how far away that was again. I was using market orders. I wasn't using limit orders. It was just this tilt continuation of not taking the signals and not acting on them appropriately today. I did one more entry in there. I don't know why I entered that one. Maybe I was just trying to make back all the losses that I had, and it ended up working out. But I'm not happy with it. Ultimately, it was a 3. Exit at 30 points, exit at 30 points, exit at 20 points for another 8-hour trade, and I got out here at 10:55. I ended up back at about that 3.5R positive on the day, and that's where I should have stopped initially. I think I said I was going to stop at positive 3R, so just got above that, and thankfully I said, you know what, this is it. I'm back to where I should have stopped. I'm going to stop. And the old me would have said, all right, I'm back to, where I said I would have stopped. Maybe one more trade, and we can get back to the high of day. So I'm thankful that I stopped. That's something that, I've been working on. I don't like that I tilted to begin with, but I did stop when I got back to that level. Overall, poor performance day, a C day, like I said. Way too many trades, over trading. Didn't stop when I said I was going to stop. Went past my intraday trailing threshold that I create for myself. I did keep all my losses the same. They're all 1R. That was good. but I probably shouldn't have traded at all. I was tired, I didn't sleep well, I was not in a good enough mental state and not in a good enough flow state to be trading. So something to think about moving forward, and really assess, if I'm going to be doing this every, tracking my mental state, I need to be honest with myself and not just put in numbers so that I can trade. And if the number is not good enough, if I'm only a 4 out of 10, I shouldn't be trading, and I need to recognize that. So that's all for today. Tilt, revenge trading, overtrading, poor performance day, but you know what? It's a new month coming up and new opportunities.